Welcome to my favorite students. This afternoon we're going to look at the subject of ratio and proportion. The mathematics of ratio and proportion allows us to solve very interesting and relevant problems. In this class you will recognize that our 27 students is divided in ratio boys to girls. For every 4 boys there are 5 girls. If I ask you to use mathematics to calculate the number of boys in the class rather than counting, then you will simply divide 27 by the ratio, or in the ratio 4 to 5. To do that, we add 4 and 5. That provides us with 9. We divide the 27 by 9. That tells us that we are going to make 3 rounds by placing under the heading boys, 4 boys, under the heading girls, 5 girls. We will make a total of 3 shares in this regard. 4 3s are 12. It means that there are 12 boys. 3 5s are 15. There are 15 girls. We have used the arithmetic and the mathematics of ratio to solve that problem. If I had a large group of persons, say 195 persons, and I knew that the ratio of male to female in that group was still 4 to 5, I could use the same technique to determine how many of each group there are among that 195 persons. We could also use the mathematics of ratio and proportion to share money. Let's assume that there are $60 to be divided in the ratio 2 to 3. Again, we start putting dollars under each category. $2 and $3. When I have made a single share, I have shared out $5. I divide the $60 by 5, and in a single share there are $5, but I would make a total of 12 shares. When I divide that $60 in the ratio 2 to 3, 2 12s are 24, 3 12s are 36. The ratio in which that $60 is divided is 2 to 3. The amounts are $24 and $36. If you think that you have an understanding of how that works, I will require of you that you do this example for me. I.e., I now have $440, and I want you to divide that $440 in the ratio 3 to 8. In the ratio 3 to 8. Now that you've had a minute and a half in attempting a solution to that problem, let us see if you got the solution to this one. 3 to 8, you have to say 3 and 8 is 11. $11 in a single share. You divide the 440 by 11. You will get 11 into 44 is 4. You'll get $40. You have 3 times 40 is 120. And 8 times 40 is 320. So the shares are $120 and $320. But that is only one type of problems that we can use the mathematics of ratio to solve. What if, for example, I was told that I have some dog food. So, not dog food. I have some pet food. I have a number of grams of pet food that I have to share between a dog and a cat in the ratio 5:3. The dog gets 5 parts, the cat gets 3 parts. What if I know how much the dog received? Suppose I say to you, give the dog 330 grams. How much would you give to the cat? That's the question. On this occasion, I do not know how much dog food or how much pet food I had to share. All I know is that the ratio must be 5:3. Dog gets 5, the cat gets 3. The dog gets 330 grams. How much will the cat get? To solve this problem using mathematics, you divided 330 grams by 5 because the dog gets 5 parts. So this 330 grams represents 5 parts. So 330 divided by 5 gives us 5 into 30 is 6. And 5 into 30 is another 6. 66 grams is a single portion. But the dog got 5 parts and the cat got 3 parts. So the cat will get 66 times 3. 66 times 3. 3 6s are 18. 3 6s are 18 and 100 and 1 make 19. The cat gets 198 grams. And I have solved an interesting problem that way. What if, for example, the cat was given 240 grams. The cat received 240 grams. How much would the dog have received? The ratio is still 5:3. The dog gets 5, the cat gets 3. On this occasion, the cat received 240 grams. How much did the dog get? Simple. You divide the 240 grams by the 3 which the cat received, and you get 80 grams. And then the dog received 5. So you multiply the 80 by 5. When you multiply that 80 by 5, you'll get 400 grams. The dog would have received 400 grams. Yet there is another set of problems for which we may use ratio and proportion in a mathematical sense to solve. And in this case, we can use comparative shopping. Every housewife knows the difficulties they experience or the types of decisions that they must make when they go shopping. Let's consider a single brand of Ovaltine, the same brand, but they are in 3 different packages. There is a 200 gram tin which costs $3.40. A 200 gram tin costs $3.40. A 350 gram tin costs $4.80. And a 450 grams tin cost $7.20. The housewife is not restricted in terms of how many grams he or she wants to buy. She is only interested in shopping in a smart way to get the best value for her money. What she needs to do in a situation like this is to find out how much each gram within each container would cost. Find out the cost of a single gram for each container. Let's take the first container. The first container, each gram will cost 340 cents divided by 200. In this case, each gram will cost 1.7 cents. 1.70 cents, not dollars. 1 gram will cost 1.7 cents. For the second container, 1 gram will cost 480 cents divided by 350. This will give us 1.37 cents per gram. And the final container, 1 gram, will cost 720 cents divided by 450. And that will be 1.60 cents per gram. When you look at the cost for each gram, you recognize immediately that for the 200 gram tin, you paid 1.7 cents. For the 350 gram tin, you paid 1.37 or 1.4 if you want to round it off to just two significant figures, 1.4 cents. Whereas for the 450 gram tin, you paid 1.60 cents for every gram. The smarter shopping there is the 350 gram tin, where every gram costs 1.37 cents. The next best is 1.6 cents for the 450 gram tin. This brings us to an even more interesting topic. It brings us into the topic of proportion. The fact that I used the cost for 1 gram has now led me straight into the realm of proportion. Proportion is associated with equal ratios. And here I tried to find out how much each gram would cost so that I could decide on what was my best shopping arrangement. Whenever you are doing proportion, you look for equal ratios. Let's take an example. Suppose I have a ratio 1 to 2. That ratio is equivalent to the same 2 to 6. 2 to 6 and 1 to 2 are equal ratios, or equivalent ratios if you choose the word equivalence. Direct proportion would allow you to do arithmetic where if one quantity increases, another quantity will increase as well. Or if one quantity decreases, the other one decreases. That is called direct proportion. Inverse proportion, on the other hand, if one quantity increases, the other decreases, and vice versa. We look at two simple examples to conclude this lesson. 12 gallons of diesel were bought for $126. how much would 18 gallons have cost at the same rate? The answer is simple. Find the cost for 1 gallon. 1 gallon would have cost $126 divided by 12, which is $10.50. So 18 gallons would cost $10.50 times 18, which is $189. That's a simple direct proportion. I found the cost of one. On the other hand, if I wanted to deal with an indirect proportion, I could take this interesting example. I have enough feed. I have enough food to feed 5 cows for 6 days. 5 cows for 6 days. The question is, how much food would I need to feed 3 cows? Let's go over that. Let's restate that question. For how many days can I feed 3 cows? If 5 cows will use up the food in 6 days. 5 cows will consume the food in 6 days. In how many days will 3 cows consume the same amount of food, eating at the same rate? Well, this gives rise to an inverse proportion, because the fewer the cows, the longer the time they can feed on the same amount of food. What we do in this situation is to find out how long it would take 1 cow to use up all that food. 1 cow would take 6 times 5, which is 30 days to consume the food. So 3 cows will take 30 divided by 3, which is 10 days. That is called inverse proportion. The 3 will consume the food in over a longer period of time than 5 would. Now, our ratio and proportion, the mathematics thereof, would allow us to solve a lot more interesting and relevant questions. One of which is currency conversion. How to do foreign exchange. Like when you get your remittances in US dollars and you want to convert it into EC dollars to make sure that you are not robbed. When you want to buy some US dollars or some Barbados dollars or some Trinidad currency with your EC dollars, you know the exchange rate, to make sure that you're not robbed. We will deal with these topics using the mathematics of ratio and proportion in our next lesson. Thank you.